Today, it's time for one of those all-in-one sessions where I pick a story, I read it out loud, and then I break it down, talking a little bit about the meaning, what it's saying, so I translate it, and I also comment on some interesting vocabulary and so on. I will also be pointing out at the pronunciation, the connected speech, so how words connect, how words join, and because this piece of text that I chose is written by an Argentinian author, I'm going to, in some points, tell you what the pronunciation would be like in Argentinian Spanish, because my pronunciation is Spanish from Spain. So first of all, just listen to the story, sit back and relax. And after I read the story, I'm going to break it down. So don't worry if you don't understand anything of what I say, just enjoy the sounds. And then I'll break everything down and you'll understand exactly what I said. El mono cogió un tronco de árbol, lo subió hasta el más alto pico de una sierra y lo dejó allí. Y cuando bajó al llano, explicó a los demás animales: ¿Ven aquello que está allá? Es una estatua, una obra maestra. La hice yo. Y los animales, mirando aquello allá en lo alto, sin distinguir bien qué era, comenzaron a repetir que aquello era una obra maestra. Y todos admiraron al mono como a un gran artista, todos menos el cóndor, porque él era el único que podía volar hasta el pico de la sierra y ver que aquello solo era un viejo tronco de árbol. Dijo a muchos animales lo que había visto, pero ninguno creyó al cóndor, porque es natural en el ser que camina no creer al que vuela. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the first sentence. El mono cogió un tronco de árbol. El mono, this is the monkey. El mono cogió, coger is the verb coger, to take. In Mexico, in other places, you might hear agarrar instead of coger, because coger might have another meaning. But in Spain, and I guess in Argentina, because this author again is from Argentina, you can say cogió. So he grabbed un tronco de árbol, a tree trunk, I think. Lo subió hasta el más alto pico de una sierra. So he took it up hasta, until, el más alto pico de una sierra, the highest, el más alto, the highest pike of una sierra is like a lot of mountains together. I don't know how you say that in English. Lo dejó allí, he left it there, y cuando bajó al llano, and when he came down to the flat soil, not the mountain, but the flat, el llano, explicó a los demás animales. He explained to the other animals. Now let's talk about some words. First thing I want to talk about is lo subió. Lo subió. So here we're talking about the tree trunk. And we use the verb subir, not only for us when we go up. Okay, so yo subo is I go up. But subió el tronco, it's he took the tree trunk up. So I can go up myself or I can go up something else. So yo subo algo. I take something up. And then here the lo refers to the tronco del árbol, it. So, lo subió. He took it up. Okay? The next thing I want to talk about is lo dejó. Lo dejó means he left it there. Dejar, as you might know, has a lot of different meanings. In this case, means to leave. And again, we have the lo because we're talking about the tree trunk. El tronco. Lo dejó allí. He left it there. Okay? Y cuando bajó, and then notice here how bajó here is without lo, because you could say lo bajó, and it would mean that he took the tree trunk down, but no, he just went down himself. Cuando bajó, when he came down or when he went down. Okay? Pronunciation. Let's notice here the connected speech. For example, we have cogió un, we would say cogió un tronco. No, we wouldn't say cogió un tronco, cogió un, but cogión, okay? Cogió un tronco, you connect the O and the U, okay? The word árbol here, make sure that you pronounce it with the soft B. So you have the combination of the R, the tap R, and the B, which is soft, continuous, árbol, árbol. Not closing my lips, it's not árbol, árbol, árbol. Also, all the words that end in L in English, they're sometimes mispronounced. The English speakers sometimes mispronounce words ending in L, like sol, something like that, and you hear all, something like this, like sol. It's the same here, it's not árbol, it's árbol, Your L needs to be like la, really soft, only a light touch, árbol, with the tip of your tongue, okay? Okay, let's go with the next part. ¿Ven aquello que está allá? Do you see that is there? Aquello, that, allá, there. Do you see that there is there? ¿Ven aquello que está allá? Es una estatua. It's a statue. Una obra maestra. A masterpiece. Una obra maestra. La hice yo. I did it myself. Okay, so here what I want to mention is the word aquello and allá. Those usually are more common in Latin America. In Spain, we might say eso, and then not allá, but allí. Okay? You can hear either or. It's not that you will not hear these ones in Spain, but it's more common to say ven eso que está allá. Also, we wouldn't say ven, we would say veis if it's informal. Because in Latin America, they use the ustedes ven. And in Spain, we use the vosotros veis, okay? So those would be the differences. Then, something else to notice here is la hice yo. This la here refers to la estatua, okay? Is the it, is a substitute of la estatua. So they don't repeat estatua again, like lo subió, lo dejó, el tronco, because it's masculine. But then, la hice yo, la estatua. Okay? Now, pronunciation. In this sentence, I only want to show the differences that the way I pronounced it and the way they would pronounce it. The author probably would pronounce it in Argentina. So, it wouldn't be aquello. It would be aquello. Ven aquello que está allá, with a sh. Instead of a ya, allá. Ven aquello que está allá. And then also, what they do in Argentina is that they aspirate the S before consonants. So instead of está, they would say está. Ven aquello que está allá. Maybe, I hope I'm not butchering it. But ven aquello que está allá. Es una estatua, not estatua, but estatua. Una obra maestra, okay? Like a kind of H sound or no sound, okay? And then la hice yo. La hice, not la hice, la hice yo. Yo, not yo. So not la hice yo, but la hice yo, okay? Next one. Y los animales, mirando aquello que veían allá en lo alto, and the animals, looking, mirando, aquello, that, o aquello, that which they saw there in the high, in lo alto, up there, basically. Allá en lo alto is like up there, okay? Sin distinguir bien qué era, without distinguishing well what it was, okay? Without really knowing what it was. Here I need to disclose something. The original text, instead of era, said fuere. That is an olden tense from the subjunctive. It's like the future of the subjunctive. We don't use it in speech anymore. You might see it in some legal text. You might see it in some expressions, like old expressions, like sea como fuere, whatever it is. But you won't hear it in people speaking. That's why I changed it to era, because that's what we would say nowadays. No one would say sin distinguir bien que fuere, but they would say sin distinguir bien que era. Okay, so, and the animals, looking at that they would see up there, en lo alto, without distinguishing well what it was, comenzaron a repetir que aquello era una obra maestra. Comenzaron, they started, or comenzaron a repetir que aquello era una obra maestra. They started to repeat que aquello era una obra maestra, was a masterpiece. Y todos admiraron al mono como a un gran artista. Okay, and todos, when we say todos, it's like everyone. Okay, all of them, everyone. Todos, everyone, admiraron al mono, they admired the monkey como a un gran artista, as if he was a big artist, okay, or a great artist. Okay, here in this sentence, y todos admiraron al mono como un gran artista, I want to talk about the word todos, just to repeat, to emphasize. I've said it 1,000 times if you've seen other of my videos, but the D's also are soft. Todos, not todos, not todos with a D, with a D. It's like the sounding then. Todos, but softer. Admiraron al mono como a un gran artista. Connected speech here in como a, moi. Not como a o a, but wa. Como a un gran artista. Todos menos el cóndor. All except the cóndor. Everyone except, or everyone but the cóndor. The condor, like that bird, porque él era el único que podía volar hasta el pico de la sierra, because he was the only one, el único, que podía volar hasta el pico de la sierra, that he could fly until, hasta el pico de la sierra, until the peak of the mountain top, kind of thing. Y ver que aquello solo era un viejo tronco de árbol. And see that only was an old trunk of tree. An old tree trunk. Okay? Words. Menos. Menos here is used, menos means less or minus. So you could use it for less. Tengo menos comida. I have less food. Or you can use it for minus, like 5 menos 3, 5 minus 3, as in like calculations. But if you say todos menos el cóndor, in this sentence, menos means except or but. In English you'd say like everyone but the cóndor. So everyone except the cóndor. Todos menos el cóndor. Everyone minus the cóndor. Okay? Now the pronunciation of it. Here I want to emphasize these two, the connection of porque and el. I know I said in other videos that if you have two vowels that are the same, you connect them. But when you have the word el, or a word that starts with a stressed, then you don't always do that. So you'd say porque él, because it means he, not the. If it was porque el mono, because the monkey, it would be porque el mono. But this is porque él, because he was the only one, okay? Porque él era el único que podía volar hasta el pico de la sierra. Hasta el not hasta el pico, but hasta el pico. So it's like hasta el pico de la sierra, de el pico de la sierra, y ver que aquello solo era un viejo here. So when you have an N and a V together, it becomes mb. So it's not un viejo, it's un viejo tronco de árbol. Okay, and last part. Dijo a muchos animales lo que había visto. He told a lot of animals what he had seen. Pero ninguno creyó al cóndor. But none of them believed the cóndor. Porque es natural en el ser que camina no creer al que vuela. Because it is natural in the being that walks. En el ser. El ser, it's like un ser, it's like a being. I think you'd say a being as well, like when it's like a creature, un ser. Porque es natural en el ser que camina, because it's natural in the being that walks. No creer al que vuela. Not to believe the one who flies. Here we have al que, as in we are omitting al ser. We're omitting it because it's the subject. El ser que camina. El ser camina. So that's why we're not saying el ser again, and we're just saying al que camina. We're not saying lo or anything because it's not a direct complement, a direct object. It's just the subject. And the subject, remember that you can omit. So, el ser que camina, no creer al que vuela. Al que vuela, vuela, vuela. Not vuela, not vuela, vuela, vuela. Okay? Now, you can interpret this as you wish, como quieras. This is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, this lesson, and let me know if you have any stories, any short stories that you like. I'm always on the lookout for these kinds of stories. It's not easy to find short and sweet stories, so send them over. I'm open to recommendations, and I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like or subscribed. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.